Welcome students. We are in week 3 and the course assignment, you can see here it says assignment number 1, Microsoft Word, due September 25th, right? And you can also see on your course outline that in week 3, in addition to the hardware quiz, which opened this week, you also have the Microsoft Word assignment, which is assigned to you this week, and then it will be due on the 25th, right? So basically, you have from August 29th to September 25th. So being that the drop add period is over, all the students that are in the course should be in this course for the remainder of the semester unless you choose to withdraw. So that said, you click on the assignment here and you will see that this assignment will be rolled out and discussed during the weekly consultation sessions. But this video is to give everybody a even start so you'll understand what's expected of you in the assignment. So you'll see there's 2 files here. You must download the instruction file, and you must also download this file which says student name assignment 1, which will basically be the assignment you're going to alter for the first part. So I've already downloaded these. I have them in a folder. So you can see here that it's the assignment here is student name assignment 1, and you have the Microsoft Word assignment instructions rubric, right? So this is where the instructions are and the rubric is, and you'll also see them in the assignment as well on your page. So I'm going to double click on this instruction part and open this up. So after you download it to your computer, you will see that it has down there the University of Belize CMPS1014. This is going to be for all sections, and this is for 2022-1. Again, it has the date that it's assigned, and it has the date that it's due, with the 2 mandatory sections that you must download, these 2 separate files that you download. You need to make sure that you download both, right? In the past, when I've given 2 piece assignments, sometimes students just download the instructions and then start with a blank document. That is not the case. You are taking the same document. You each will start with the student name assignment 1, and you will take that assignment and you will make these changes to it, okay? So again, if you have any clarifications on these instructions, you will then email your lecturer. The best way to do that is to put in the email your student name, your student ID, your section, the day that you attend, and you address your lecturer and ask them whatever question you have based upon the instructions provided. So you would copy and paste the instruction from this instruction sheet into the email and then explain to them what your question is. So I recommend that you kind of state what you think the issue is, what you think the instruction means, and then ask for clarification. If it tells you something, that means that's what you are supposed to do. So if it says adjust page margins to 1.2 inches all the way around, that means on the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. So there's no reason to ask the question if you copy and paste this and say, sir, do you mean all 4 sides? Yes, that's why it says all the way around, okay? And it's 1.2, not 1.0, not 1.1, not 1.3. You need to change it to 1.2 all the way around. And after you watch all the tutorials that are provided for you from Microsoft Word 1, 2, and 3, you will be able to do this on your own, okay? So again, if you're in a face-to-face class, this is something that will be shown to you in the classroom. If you're in an online class, you need to go through the tutorials to see that. Those of you who are taking face-to-face also have access to the tutorials, but you do not have access necessarily to the videos. Okay, so the document that you open, everyone starts with the same document that they're starting with. And basically it is 3 full pages of text, right? It has 2 pages of text, and then at the very end you'll see the source where this came from and another instruction. This actual text will not be in your finished assignment, okay? But you will all start with this text up here, and you'll notice that each of the little area has a separate heading, which is on a separate line, and also in italics. So the first thing that it tells you in your assignment is it says that you will make a newsletter or a bulletin. So you will not start with any type of template. You will start with you will start with the document that's provided you, and you will convert that into a newsletter or bulletin. You may need to go online and look at either YouTube or through Google and do some research into some examples of newsletters or bulletins. So I repeat, you will not be using a template, which would be a newsletter or bulletin. You should be using the file that was provided and then converting that into the appearance of a newsletter or bulletin. There is no specific newsletter or bulletin file that you should be following. It's all based upon what you can find in your research. So you take the document, you will, under page layout, you will change the margins to 1.2 inches all the way around. You will use appropriate page breaks throughout the document where necessary. So each section that requires its own format should have a break before it and after it. Every page, at the end of every page in your file, you should also have a page break. So a next page break. You will set the third page, which will not count the cover page, to landscape orientation. So that means that you will at least have 3 pages when you're done. The actual page count will vary from student to student based upon the way you complete the assignment. The next section is the cover page. You will insert a cover page, which will be the first page, right, of your newsletter or bulletin, right? And that will have smart art. And in the smart art, you will have your name, your student ID, your course name, and the date. That is all you will have on that cover page. Please don't use images, right? You don't want to use a table. You want to use smart art. Page numbers and footers. You will have page numbers on all pages except for the cover page. Those numbers will be in the header and they'll be in the top right. You will have footers on all the pages except for the cover page and the last page. The footer will include the words Introduction to Computers. This will be in size 9 Arial font narrow and will be aligned to the center. This will be for all pages except for the cover page and last page. The next section is a table. Here is where you're going to have to go online and you're going to have to do some research. You're going to have to look for the population for the country of Belize by district. You will have a table that will have 3 rows, right? So that means 1, 2, 3, horizontal. 7 columns. Remember, columns hold up a house roof, right? So therefore you will have 7 columns and 3 rows. You will have at the top, you will have the district. It'll say district name, it'll say 2010, and then it will say 2020. Those will be your 3 rows, or your 3 rows going across here to the left. Then in each of your columns, you'll have the name of the districts, right? So you'll have districts, you'll have district, and you'll say Toledo District or Stan Creek District for each one going across, and then going down, you'll have the population for 2010 and for 2020. 2020, no census took place, so you'll have to find estimates, okay? So you may find some variations in your numbers, especially for the 2020 number. They're conducting the census right now, so you may find some variations, which is not a problem. The thing is that you're going to be providing your sources for these, so they'll be checked as well. So you're going to need to have a source for your 2010 and for your 2020 population. You will add a design to make the table more attractive. Your overall content, creativity, and presentation. Remember that you will make this be a bulletin or a newsletter, but you will have to make use of themes and styles, right? So you have your styles here, and you have your themes here. So you'll have to make use of those as well. In your article, you will insert 3 pictures that'll be relative to the content that the article has. You'll have to read through the article and look for 3 pictures that are relative to it. You will put those pictures not on the cover page, but in the newsletter or bulletin itself. You will determine the correct appropriate size and the location. It should not be covering any text. It should be in the area where the article refers to the content. You will then make sure that each picture has a caption using the caption feature. Also, as a part of the caption, you're going to need to include the owner or author along with the year that it was copyrighted. This is how you'll be able to cite the resources for your picture, and this will be done in APA format. So you'll notice that you have to cite your APA sources for your pictures and for your population. The other source that you're going to have is going to be the one that's provided to you at the end of the source file, which is this one right here. So you'll have to go in and list this source, but you're going to have to do it in APA format. This is not APA format, so you'll have to do that. This is just the website so that you can go and you can create the reference, right? So you can have up to 6 references, right? Because if you use you're going to basically use the 3 pictures. You're going to have your 2010 population, your 2020 population, and you're going to have the source file, so that would be your 6th reference, right? Now, if you get multiple pictures from one site, then that would lessen the number of references. If you're able to get the population from one site for both 2010 and 2020, then again, that would lessen your references. You still need to cite them where they're used, and then at the end, you would list all of the references that were used for the file. Remember that your links, you're going to also cite the sources for these pictures. You're not citing the search engine. So when you Google and look for a picture or an image, you will have to go to the website where the image resides. You can't just go to Google Images and cite it from there. You have to continue and go all the way to where it says visit the site, and that's where you will actually go to the site and you will actually get the image from there. The next thing is that you have to have your references, which I just already mentioned. Your hyperlinks. Your 3 images, you will create hyperlinks for those images, and they will not be visible. They will be attached to the picture. Remember, these should be to the website. So if you download them to your computer, do not give me or give your lecturer a link to your computer's documents folder or images folder. This needs to be a link to where the picture actually resides on the internet. So if I press down Control and click on your picture, it should take me to that website where that picture resides, not to Google or Bing or Yahoo or any other search engine. And you can check it yourself to make sure you've done it correctly. And the last part is you'll have your last page, which will be the reference page, and that reference page will be in APA format. So this is where you will have to make sure you're following from week 2, the citing references in APA format, and also the sample document that was provided in PDF, right? There should be no blank pages anywhere in the file. So remember that your 3rd page will be moved to landscape orientation only. That's 1 page. Everything else will be in portrait. So there should be no chunks of blank space anywhere in the file. It should be a continuous looking file, right? So when you're creating it, when you're done, when you pick up a magazine or you pick up a newsletter, there's very rarely, if ever, large spaces or chunks of white blank space. It should have the correct spacing and basically flow. So, and remember the resources, these are actually in week 2, right? They're in week 2 on Moodle. These are APA and then citing references. The next part here is the grading rubric. So each of those sections that are up here that you can see that are underlined, like page layout, cover page, page numbers and footers, table, and so forth, they correspond here. And this is where you get your points. So the assignment, this part of the assignment is worth 75 points. Okay, and that has the, you can get up to 10 points, up to 5 points, up to 10 points by completing these areas. So when your assignment is done, you'll submit it here. There'll be a section which will say submit the assignment, and you're going to submit 2 files. I'm going to go through the second file right now. So the second part of the assignment, if you go back to the instructions, is where you're going to create an invoice. This, again, you're going to start with a blank document. You're going to go File and then New, and you're going to create a blank document, and you're going to create an invoice. And your company's name for everyone is Trainwright Corporation. You're going to create an invoice that is going to be a template. So when you're done, you're going to save it as a template. It should not have any sale information. So here's an example of one. Right? It has the name, it has the company address, the contact information, an email, the website. It's going to have a logo, and then it's going to have spaces where you can put customer, customer number, address, the invoice number, the date, the salesperson, the items, multiple items that can be purchased, the description of those items, the quantity of those items, the price of those items, and the price extended. Then you're going to have a space for a subtotal, GST, and invoice total. It does not have to look like this. Again, you start with a blank document. You have a little tagline at the end. All of these elements need to be there, but nothing should be in any of these boxes because this is um, a template, right? So remember that you have dates for, or spaces for, excuse me, the date, customer name, customer address, phone number, items purchased, price per item, subtotal, GST, total, salesperson, and invoice number. It is a template, so when you're done, it should be saved as a .docx file. The other file should be a .docx. Anyone who submits a PDF file for this assignment will receive a 0 for the piece that you submitted as a PDF. This course has a Microsoft Word element. It does not have anything that should be ever submitted in PDF. So anytime you submit a PDF, you will get a 0 for that. And if you resubmit it and it's late, you will get 10 points deducted for being late. So please understand you are being duly informed in advance, well in advance. If you submit a PDF file, you will get a 0 for either portion of these. The invoice is information entered as requested, 5 points. Professional appearance, 5 points. Spelling and grammar, 5 points. Customized creativity, 5 points. Saved as a template, 5 points for a total of 25. So the most you can get for your assignment total is 100 points. Okay, so it's based on 100 points. Whatever you get, if you get an 88, that means your score is an 88. Remember, this is 15% of your grade, and this is what your first assignment is. Remember, again, this is due on September 25th prior to 11:59 p.m. Anything submitted on the date of September 26th, if your lecturer accepts late assignments, like I do, for 1 week, you get 10 points taken off. You will have to submit it through email with an excuse, a valid excuse of why it's late. These are for my students only. You will have to speak to your lecturer to verify if they will accept late assignments or not. Anything after that last week, once this September 25th passes, will not be accepted or graded by me. Okay? Just so you're aware of it. So this is your assignment. Please, if you have any questions, email your lecturers because your lecturers will be the ones who will be grading your work. So check with your lecturer, find the piece of the assignment that you're confused about, and ask them to explain it, or attend the live consultation session, which is highly, highly recommended. Thank you very much for your time.